Welcome, everybody, to a Delco Nerd Network podcast. I am your host, Anthony Ragucci, and here with a few friends in the Delaware County area, we get in a basement and we talk about a certain topic. Today's topic, of course, is going to be the Game Awards 2025. Here to discuss, as always, the triple threat, Chris Trio.
Gooch, I'm just going to start off this whole episode by saying Kingdom Come Deliverance was robbed of Best RPG, and then we'll take it from there.
A lot of games were robbed of a lot of things, I feel, this year.
Stolen! No.
But we will talk about just that in a
Absolutely.
very quick memento. And I did want to, get it out before we even start. I am wearing the same shirt from the last podcast we did.
Burn! Sorry.
I don't like to do that, but I feel like the only reason I'm wearing this shirt today is because I'm going to be wearing it tonight. We're going to the Death Stranding Strands of Harmony concert in Newark, New Jersey.
Right.
So I'm like, I was going to wear my Death Stranding logo with the strands, but I was like, nah, I gave the pits a whiff, and
That's
I'm
nice.
like,
Yeah.
it's good.
It's good to go.
Yeah.
Well, it's in the not dirty, not clean pile. Do you have one of those? Because I have one that sits on. I have like a shelf on top of my hamper, and that's for everything I've worn once, but isn't like dirty. You know what I mean?
Right,
Yeah.
right. Could get another.
Yeah, like
go.
one day more.
Yeah, like
shirts
I wore a
anyways.
sweater on Tuesday, and I did the same thing, and I was like, gave it a whiff, and I'm like, no, I could wear this again.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
That's all it's about.
Just wanted to get in front of it.
No, I like it. Yeah.
Just wanted to get
The
in front
comments
of it.
would have been ablaze for
Yeah.
sure. I don't think I'm wearing this, to be honest.
Because I comment on Trio shirts more often than
Gooch will
not.
be like, you wore that shirt.
I don't think I've ever seen the Queen T-shirt on the podcast.
This is a
before.
new one, I think, probably. I've been
Okay.
trying to up my shirt repertoire lately. Because
Yeah.
honestly, my wardrobe in general is a little dated. I need to buy new clothes.
Dude, clothes has always been like, I maybe go shopping big bulk shopping,
Right.
buy a lot of shit for whatever season once every 2 years.
Right, yeah.
Like, and I never feel like I need it. We were just talking about sweaters. I need new sweaters. That's one thing I need. I never feel like I'm like really.
Right. Like new and like you just have all the new stuff, right?
Yeah. I mean, but like, I feel like women might feel like that, but like that's a very particular man who's like getting rid of outfits like every
monthly
year
or yearly, right?
Yeah,
And keeping up
that's
on their
strange.
wardrobe. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely a certain type of dude, for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
But we're bullshitting around. I mean,
Yeah.
we like to meander at the beginning of the podcast. Don't get me wrong, guys. But we like to usually talk about what we're doing, playing, been up to, things like that. And since it's been a little bit close to the last podcast, I don't have too much new things. But Trio, let's start with you. What have you been playing?
Yeah, sounds good. Do we want to do movies first and then kind of back and forth like we were doing the last time, or what are we thinking?
Yeah, I mean, let's kind of do it all together. Like, if you
it.
talk about what you're playing. I mean, you can really do whatever.
Yeah, no,
I
cool.
pitched what you were playing, but you can throw it back
No,
in my face and be
absolutely.
like, I want to talk about what I'm watching.
I will start with what I'm watching. Thank you very much. But no. So I've actually watched a couple things in these last, week or so. I saw Wicked Part 2 with the soon-to-be misses, I should say. It was a trip. She loved it. And it was funny. I was watching Mr. Sunday Movies, and there's the other guys on there is Nick Mason. They're both very funny guys. And he's like, listen, if your wife or your girlfriend or your fiance wants to go see Wicked, just go see Wicked. And you know what? Don't say anything about it after. Just let him enjoy it. Have fun. Because you're going to be like, us movie guys sitting there like that, we will, we fall into the traps of, I'm like, well, that doesn't line up with The Wizard of Oz and, the stupid stuff. I'm like,
well, that's not how I remember the 1937 classic.
I have watched The Wizard of Oz relatively recently, Gooch. And, the Tin Man in that does not seem like an angry murderer. But in this, he is a very angry murderer. Anyways, it was actually an interesting watch. I think Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande are great in it. Like, they have very good voices. We've had our talks about their on-screen.
I was gonna say
that's
that's the only thing I'd be talking
shenanigans.
about as I just can't get over how thin they are and how weird they are together. I just can't get over
They do.
it.
It's funny. I haven't played. There has been talk about it. I haven't paid much attention to the press, but there have been many memes that I've seen, and there does seem to be an interesting, to say the least, dynamic going on there. But no, I thought the movie. Everyone was talking about how it was all washed out and there wasn't much color in it. I didn't actually find that as much in it when I watched it, but it was fun enough. I thought.
Would you give it a mid-tier movie?
I'd give it a low tier movie for me. But it's someone's. I mean,
Right.
there are jokes of like
we're not wicked marks here.
Exactly.
You know?
We're not here for the wicked stuff. But last night we actually watched Wake Up Dead Man, which is the new Knives Out.
Yeah.
And I was an hour and a half in, and I messaged the Discord. And I'm like, this is the worst one so far. I really don't. I'm not.
Yeah, I
enjoying
know.
it.
I'm like, what is he talking about?
And that's you know what's so funny.
But I'm like, oh yeah. I knew that came out.
It's so funny though you say that because I see them put out things and it's like Wake Up Dead Man parentheses a Knives Out mystery, and I'm like, why do they need to put a Knives Out like people will get it? But then you were like, what's that? I'm like, oh well, maybe they do need to put it in there.
Yeah. I mean, I knew what that was, but I actually just didn't know the title.
Right.
Which is kind of funny.
But what's his name? Bond. Why am I forgetting his name?
Daniel Craig.
He's chewing the scenery as normal. I think it's a fun whodunit. That's probably an hour too long, if I'm honest. I think Rian Johnson. I really do like him as a director, but I do think he doesn't have the lightest touch when it comes to talking about like current day cultural issues in his movies.
I remember
like, he hits the
Glass
nail
Onion
very
being like very on the nose.
Right? Yeah, and I think
but not the original Knives Out.
I agree. There's like I think it's a bit more layered in the first Knives Out. It's definitely there,
Onions.
but I think he
ogres
like onions. I think he isn't that great at subtext sometimes. Maybe he's not trying to be. Maybe he is trying to be overt, and I guess that's fine too. My phone closed on me. And then the last thing I've been watching, Welcome to Derry. I've been catching up. It finishes up this weekend, I believe.
It's a prequel to like the original part 1 of it.
Correct. It's a prequel to that. So this is the time 27 years prior to the movies where he woke up and like what happened to the town and kind of an origin. The clown.
Yeah, the alien.
So do you know?
thing.
Have you watched the movies? Are you like familiar with how the? Oh,
absolutely
okay.
not.
So
I'm
very brief. It is a creature that eats people, and it feeds on fear. It like scares you to get you all like tasty, and then it eats you. But it only comes out every 27 years to feed. So there's like cycles, and then it like seeps into the town and makes everyone really terrible. And once you leave Derry, you don't really remember Derry. It creates like this kind of whole fog of like supernaturalness around the town and just terribleness.
It is an alien though, right?
It is. So, you know, it connects to all of his other books, I think. There's like another creature that's supposed to be the opposite of it, I think, in the Dark Tower, like the good entity. But yeah, I think he is supposed to be like it is supposed to be like the embodiment almost of evil and terror, and he's like the devourer of worlds, you know what I mean? Like a crazy entity. But it's been really great, man. You don't see Skarsgård really until the 4th episode, and I think that was the right move. I think the whole cast is great. Children actors, especially in it, are really fantastic. They're doing some scenes that I'm like truly blown away by. The effects look great. The story's kind of a little weird and all over the place. The actual narrative of like the military is looking for it to use it for something, and like the way that goes is very, I think, like what?
Sounds very Stranger Things.
It is a bit Stranger Things, and I think the first movies or part 1 too,
informed Stranger
very
Things.
well. Actually, I would say you're right. The originals in a way, but I almost think Stranger Things a little bit informed it part 1 and 2 at the time because they did come out afterwards, just with all the kids.
A bit of a
circular motion, if you will.
Kind of like how like Tomb Raider informed Uncharted, which then informed the new Tomb Raider games.
It's a cycle.
Yeah.
But that's really it, movies and TVs wise.
I have been watching. Speaking of Stranger Things season 5. You haven't started yet.
I haven't yet because Tamiris hasn't seen it, so I haven't. I need to just sit down and watch it myself.
Right. I mean, it's going to be all said and done by New Year's. I still have one more episode to go from the first drop. I'm enjoying it. I can't say I'm a fan of how Netflix releases their shows nowadays. It's always this like scatterburst shotgun
all
approach.
over the place.
It's just like drop it weekly. I like the conversation that comes out of the weekly shows. We've talked about this. We've done podcasts about this topic. But I'm enjoying it, man. Steve's hair's great, of course. How can we not talk about Steve? I'm really enjoying the show. I'm a bit over the fact that like the kids are really older.
Right.
Like it kind of it bugs you like I guess seeing them on the red carpet, but then when you're watching the show, it's like, okay, this doesn't bother me as much. There's one actress who plays Mike's younger sister, who you probably don't remember, Holly.
Yeah.
She is like, she's supposed to be playing a 7-year-old, and she must be like 15 or 16.
Right.
I'm like, this is not a 7-year-old.
It doesn't work
but like,
as much.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll buy it.
It's Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. There's 27-year-olds playing
Joe
17-year-olds.
Manganiello is in high school, 35.
Exactly.
Yeah. But it's great. It's good. I'm looking forward to talking about it and kind of closing that chapter.
So that's the first half has only dropped, right, of this season?
So there's 2 more dropping Christmas Day and 1 more. So they are probably long.
Yeah, they did say the last episode's like 2
I have
hours.
to admit, the episodes are meaty.
Yeah.
They're not short.
Well, and I think that they're releasing the final episode in movie theaters for like watch-alongs and stuff like that you can go see, and it's like 2 hours long. But just really quick on the release schedule, I think Amazon does it the best. They give you like 2 or 3 episodes off the gate, and then weekly for the last like 3 or 4. And I like that kind of drop personally.
With the Boys trailer being dropped, I need to. It's so funny how like I was kind of waiting for you to take the initiative with Gen V,
and then we just
two,
never,
and it never came up, and I'm like,
I never got around
I'll
to
get
it.
to it.
Truthfully, what made me not as like ready and raring to go on this season was that like they caught you up on Gen V in The Boys season 4 in like a second. You really did not need to watch Gen V to watch The Boys.
Yeah.
And I think they're probably going to do something similar around this time. I do plan on watching Gen V though, at some point.
Yeah. I watched the Minecraft movie trio.
Oh yeah, Chicken Jockey.
Chicken Jockey.
Yeah.
Game Awards prep
Right.
had to. I wanted to watch this movie anyway, but
Sure.
the fact that it was nominated for a Game Award, I'm like, all right, let's sit down and watch it.
Let's do it.
Not great. It's a kids movie. It's made for kids.
It's a meme movie. Genuine, like it seemed to turn into that.
I mean, Jack Black is perfect casting. I
Right.
think he was great in it. Jason Momoa and Danielle Brooks, who plays Adebayo in Peacemaker.
Right, yeah.
Like just kind of interesting to see them in different roles. I don't think Jason Momoa has ever really done this kind of movie.
Yeah.
But like, dude, it's made them a lot of money, regardless of whether it's good or not. It's a kids movie. That's the point of it. It's definitely not trying to be some like, it's good. It's good for the kids, but also good for adults. Like it's a kids movie, and that's fine. It's Minecraft. It's we grew up with Minecraft. Our generation was the first people to play that. It moved on. It's got cultural zeitgeist within video games. I think it's an important watch just to be like, how is this?
What is this?
How is this progressed?
Yeah.
And it's interesting. It's not like super Minecrafty. Like Minecraft is the backdrop, but it's not like focused on like, okay, we're gonna like build, like there's an adventure and they're
of
going
course.
after like a bad guy, and I feel like it probably could have been more fan servicey to Minecraft as like the game than it was. Like it, don't get me wrong, they like reference redstone and ender pearls and all sorts of Minecraft things, but like there's like a hard plot, it's like, and it's progressing pretty quick. It's only like an hour and 30 minutes. It's quick.
Well, dude, I feel like even part of that movie ended up becoming the experience of seeing it like the meme, like with people in the theater and the
that would
kids
have been
having an
that would have
aneurysm,
been weird.
screaming chicken jockey. Like, like it was insane.
Yeah.
It really was.
When that moment happened, I'm just like, here it comes.
Like,
I was like waiting for it.
I've seen it so many. I mean, I have seen it so many times.
Yeah. And then let's take a total 180-degree turn. I watched Eyes Wide Shut last weekend.
Oh.
Which is a Christmas movie. It takes place during Christmas. Stanley Kubrick's last film before he died, not Michelle Pfeiffer, Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise. Let me just talk about Nicole Kidman real quick.
Gooch discovered Nicole Kidman.
I've never seen a woman like so like normally attractive in my life. She is beautiful in that movie, and of course the first shot of her is her naked.
Did you not think she looked that beautiful in '89?
I guess I just really haven't seen enough of her.
Right.
Like
I mean, in like
her,
Batman '89, I should say.
I remember. Yes, but like,
or she returns. Sorry, continue.
It's
she's Chase Meridian, but I can't remember. I think it's in Returns.
Yeah, it's not 89. It's Returns.
Right. Yeah.
Because Michelle Pfeiffer is the.
No, it wouldn't be Returns. It would be Val Kilmer, Batman Forever. That's what she was. Yeah, because they had all those weird breathing scenes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. She is. Wow. Stunning. That movie is crazy though. I liked it. But like it's. I feel like it's kind of an attractive movie on the outside. It's like, oh, it's about sex. It's kind of
like society. What's
it's
happening?
really like not at all. It's very like interesting. It's very thought provoking.
Like the secrets of society.
It's not like all about sex. It just happens to be like the movie starts because Nicole Kidman's character is like kind of like a crazy woman, like in a way. They're smoking a joint and then she like confesses to him that like she like had this interaction when she almost cheated on him, and then she tells Tom Cruise she cheated on him, and it totally destroys his life. And that's pretty much the movie. Right, he like can't function, and he like basically he just breaks down and crashes out the entire movie because he thought his world was perfect, and in 2 seconds, his world was totally dashed.
Your wife goes to a stranger, weird sex party, and then all of a sudden she doesn't love you anymore. What's happening? Or is that
No,
happen?
she does not.
Oh,
she's
interesting.
not involved in that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I don't know much about this,
but it's interesting. It's a very different kind of movie. It's really slow. It's shot on a set.
Yeah.
It's like New York, but it's like this. It's kind of like Matthew McConaughey say it's like it's a town's dream version of a town.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of what it feels like, or whatever.
We're like a dream of a town. Or something.
yeah, like that.
Fuck.
That's how the sets feel. But it takes place during Christmas. It's a good movie. Tom Cruise is very good in it. Yeah, it's interesting. It's thought provoking. I don't know if I loved it, but I liked how it I was like. When I really don't like characters and it bothers me the entire movie, I like that movie.
But it is weird high society sex parties,
Oh, yes.
right? Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
And that's most of the movie?
No.
Or is it, okay, is it, okay.
It's mostly high society, and then the sex cult comes in at the end, and that's when it gets really weird.
Jeffrey Epstein. God.
Yeah,
there's a lot of weird shit in there, man.
There's a lot of conspiracy theories about that movie.
Yeah, even with Kubrick's death, I know. Yeah, for sure.
It's definitely worth a watch. Is it worth a watch with your fiance? Not sure.
Are you kidding me? I feel like that would be fine to watch with your fiance.
It's weird. I could see a woman.
I see not my parents, but maybe not my.
It's kind of like an uncomfortable movie to watch. Like I don't know how Tamir's is with that.
Interesting. No, I get what you're saying.
But I could see her being like, I'm done.
Yeah, like what the fuck's happening?
Yeah,
Was it as bad as that Yorgos Lanthimos one or whatever? That's like all sex with Emma Stone.
No.
Yeah,
It's not. It's not
not
like,
as bad. I mean, it's like just like weird sex stuff all the time or something.
It's not weird sex stuff all the time. It's not really. I mean, like it is, but it's not like
that's the backdrop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. I definitely want to watch that. That's like a classic movie I would like to see.
And then it gets weird.
And then you get masks.
Like
and stuff,
he's like walking home from like an appointment, and like a prostitute picks him up, and like he like entertains it, and then he leaves. But like it's not like very vulgar.
Sure, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, but interesting movie to watch.
All right.
Play.
Yeah. So let's get into it. So I finished Yote, which we got into on our hot take.
I did as well.
Well, you guys can go check that out now. Great times to be had there. I finished Outer Worlds 2 last night as well, which we will get into a bit more deeply on the podcast. I overall thoroughly enjoyed the game. I have a few gripes, which I won't get into here, but I would highly recommend at least Outer Worlds 2 as of now. Much better than Avowed, just off the bat. As far as otherwise, that caught me up, thankfully. I'm kind of out of like the holiday season.
What a blessing. I mean,
it's been nice.
That's really the only game. Actually, not true. Yeah, anyway, go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're good. I know. These have been sticking around for a while, so I understand.
Yeah.
Then I just started Mafia: The Old Country the other night.
Nice.
I picked that up on sale. That's really good so far. It's very linear, I feel like what you've come to expect from Mafia as of late. Story's great. It's set in like 1900 Sicily. You follow this guy that Enzo, who starts out in like a sulfur mine and escapes and then gets adopted into the Teresi family, and then you're kind of following him as he's working his way up the chain there. Great acting, great motion capture. I am seeing a lot of weird screen stuttering though, and some weird Unreal 5 shit again. But overall, I would recommend it, especially if you can get it on the cheap. Last game though, Gooch, which I started just this morning. I'm only about half an hour in, so I can't say much about it. But I have entered the Mind's Eye. I purchased it off GameFly for $10 used, so I didn't give Build a Rocket Boy whatever any money. I wanted to do this for posterity's sake. It's a connection to GTA.
You sound like me right now.
I needed to play this because Leslie Benzie.
You sound like me.
You're welcome.
You sound like you're like doing this like you're putting yourself through the ringer.
I want to
you're subjecting
explore
yourself
what
to
this
things
is.
you don't really necessarily want to do.
I don't. Well, it's
but
kinda,
like as a I want to say as a pundit, as a person with a critical analysis of video games, you need to play Mind's Eye to better your understanding of the medium that is the video game.
Indeed, and where like Leslie Benzie, the game director on this, was a major producer in the Grand Theft Auto franchise, and this game came out to chagrin everywhere. It was doing terribly. It was functioning terribly. There were insane clips. He put out these insane, write-ups of like people want to see us fail and they're like trying to make us fail, and it was apparently a disaster from the beginning, behind the scenes and everything. There were people that worked on the team that were complaining about him. It really kind of illustrated to me, Leslie Benzie didn't really do much on GTA. I don't think, genuinely, unless he was just grinding people, because that was his job, to get people to grind and work all the time, because that's apparently all he did at Build a Rocket Boy. But I'm half an hour in. All that said, I can't even remember the main character's name right now, to be honest. So that's not a great start. The game runs not
I
great.
couldn't even tell you what it is either.
You start off in like the desert. You're like an army veteran, and you fly a drone into something, and then it's like some type of weird like Egyptian mystical tomb, and you see something through the drone that makes you like pass out in seizure. But then you fast forward and you're in this place called Red Rock, which seems like a Las Vegas analog that's been like it looks like it's almost 15 years into our future. Like there's drones everywhere, there's kind of robots walking around helping people.
Great.
It looks like it's a more relatively realistic future, but I don't know. I'm curious to see where it goes. I'm curious to actually finish the game. Maybe I'll platinum it. Gooch, the main menu, it's like, it just doesn't even look like anyone took any time. It's weird. It's like, it looks like the start of like Dreams, like an almost like game creation thing where it's like, oh, play it. You know what it reminds me of? The Creation Club from Ubisoft, or not Ubisoft, Bethesda, where you're like going through each thing. It's like made by Build a Rocket Boy, made by Build a Rocket Boy. But I guess people can make new experiences for it, like different people. Like there's a game creation engine in it that you can make levels and missions yourself.
In Mind's Eye.
In Mind's Eye, yeah. Which I don't know if that's out yet, but they promised that, and that's why it has like a name under. It's like made by Build a Rocket Boy, and it'll say who created it. All that said and done, I'm excited in a weird way to play more and finish it, and just to get the full grip of Mind's Eye, if you will. But that's been it games wise.
Yeah, I've been playing Outer Worlds 2 as well, enjoying that. I just got to the Praetor planet. I've been to Cloister. Trio tells me I'm about 70% through the game, and I'm really enjoying it. I like the loop. I think the last time we were on here, we kind of touched on it a bit, but yeah, I'm enjoying it. I definitely like it more than Avowed, as somebody who finished Avowed. But yeah, I feel like Obsidian like could be doing more with this. With
I
their
totally
game,
agree
with these last two entries. Like it just seems like there's like they're not AA,
and it kind of feels like they are.
Right?
Yeah.
Like why are they not as good as they feel like they should be?
Right. I agree with you. There's things missing, especially from Outer Worlds, where I was like, and I mentioned them in the Discord, and we'll get into them on the review. But like, I feel like you guys should have this. You know? I don't know.
Yeah. One of the things I really liked from the secret levels, the Amos character from one of those one episode, and he's on the unclaimed. Anti-choice shit. Yeah, and he's there.
Unresolved claim or something.
Yeah, and he's on there, and I'm like, oh, this is cool. You get an achievement for like talking to him, but like I'm like, yeah, I like this connective tissue because there like actually is really.
I was gonna say
none from the first game besides Spacer's Choice and Anti Cleo.
No, it's true.
Choice now.
Well, I feel like a lot of even like there were a few storylines in that seemed to be even abandoned. Like because I didn't even realize there were other colonies that they were in contact with in that.
I remember them talking about it, but it seems like once it seems like they. I always remember like they lost contact with Earth. Like, something happened with Earth.
But then you're like part of the Earth Directorate in this, so they seem to be around. I don't know. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. But it's been pretty good. Still playing Battlefield 6. Still trucking along with that. I actually returned to the campaign. Been getting some of those achievements done.
Nice.
Such a shame about that campaign. Do you have any interest in playing that?
Not even sort of.
Okay.
I mean, maybe one day I'll pick up a mission or two. I don't know. But
sure.
Not really.
Yeah. And Trio, one of the bigger news is Stardew Valley. I've reached the summit. It's done. 100% of the game.
Just wait until that new content
Everything's
comes out.
done. Yeah, it's done. I hope. Because I Concerned Ape has always been like, oh yeah, I'm done. I'm gonna go work on Haunted Chocolatier, and then he's like still working.
Yeah,
on
he's like,
Stardew.
actually, yeah.
It's like, dude, okay. But yeah, I put 90 more hours into it than I had did the first time I finished it.
Jesus,
it's a lot of just like grinding. And like I'm grinding money. I have all ancient fruit, and that's
nice.
the only thing I'm making because that's the crop that's the most money.
Right.
Everything is ancient fruit, jelly, ancient fruit, wine, ancient fruit. Shirts.
You're here for the ancient fruit.
Yeah, it's all ancient fruit, and then it's just kind of like.
Do those grow year round? I guess, right? Except for winter, I would assume. Yeah.
Except for the winter outside,
Yeah.
but like my greenhouse is winter fruit. The farm on Ginger Island, ancient fruit.
Yeah.
It does become a bit of a slog, and I'd be interested to see like what people who play that game and like are still having fun, like what are you doing?
Right.
Like if you're not, like if you've 100% of the game, like you, like there really is no point for me to play unless I like really just like fucking around.
You like the loop.
Stardew, you know, but like I'm making money for no reason. And you know, now
you have
now
that, like you own all the totems and everything.
Yes. Yeah. So that was really where I left off. I didn't have all the totems. There were a lot of extras I didn't do. Like reaching the, so in Quee's thing, he has a thing you can actually buy percentage points too.
Oh, really?
You don't actually have to do it legit, but it costs money, and I forgot about that. Not that it actually matters. I was like pretty close to it anyway, but yeah. So he has a thing that tells you if you reach 100%, and then like your grandpa sends you a message, and you know how like where the train track is, there's like this rock in front of the stairs that leads you to the summit.
Oh,
and you go there, and there's this like pretty much credits, and like the game kind of ends, quote unquote. Like it gives you like you've done it. You reached the summit. You got here.
Interesting.
And you know you've
done everything. Yeah.
So glad to be done with it.
There you go.
It's fun. Honestly, it's like not as gruesome as it sounds. It requires a lot of time.
I was gonna say it seems like it's just time.
It is kind of fun. The loop of that game is really good.
It is. Dude, that carried me through like 6 months of the pandemic when that happened. It's such a great game.
And last but of course not least, my last new game of the year, Octopath Traveler 0. Now, Trio, if you remember like 2 years ago when Octopath 2 came out, it was one of my worst games of the year.
I do remember that. Yeah.
I was really upset with how the game was like not too much of a step up for a sequel. Did some improvements, but not enough for me to really like it. And they were very close together from the Xbox release to the release of Octopath 2 overall. Because if you remember, Octopath Traveler 1 was a Switch exclusive for a while.
I do remember
then
that,
it came to it came to Xbox, then 2 years later it came to PlayStation.
That is weird, man.
Very strange. So I played the first one on Xbox, and I played 2 and 0 on PlayStation.
Right.
Which kind of, you know, as I wake up at night, my eyes get big. You know, it keeps me up at night.
Yeah.
So Octopath Traveler 0 is a port of a mobile version of Octopath, which is essentially pretty much the same game, but like mechanics work a little differently. You create your own character. You live in this town, very idyllic. The town gets destroyed by the three main villains who represent power, wealth, and fame. And they fuck up the town. And basically, like the tutorial is, you know, the town gets destroyed and you come back to town to rebuild it. And the game is more than a JRPG. It's a town builder, which I am really enjoying. And that's sort of why I think Octopath Traveler is very good. It's doing something different. It's not just a JRPG, the same JRPG, because the combat, everything, how everything works is the exact same as the other two games. But they add this house mechanic and you create your own character, and it's not just, so Octopath in the past has been 8 different people with 8 different stories that have nothing to do with each other. And it's a bit disconnected. It's kind of a weird paced game. And I need to, I watch a review and I need to learn how to pace Octopath Traveler 0 better so I don't get fucking burned out by a 100+ hour game.
Right.
Yeah, so you're basically, you have to go after these 3 bad guys. You pick which one you want to go after. You pick your class. You create your person. You recruit up to 30 different people. So it's kind of like Dragon Quest and Suikoden, where it's like not just like 8 main people. It's like a bunch of random party members, and you can have 8 people in battle at one time. So it's a row of 4 and a row of 4, which is not how the other 2 Octopath games were. It was just 4. So you're switching out your 4 people.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's pretty good so far. It's Octopath, but it's throwing in that mix up that I wanted from 2. That I'm like, okay, like this formula is great, but like it is kind of boring. Cutscenes are kind of boring. It's boring to just kind of, you know, it's the 2 HD 2D 3D style. There's a story going on. You're just kind of looking at text and people like making different movements. Like it's not very visually interesting after a while, but you know, and the story is told exactly how it was in the other Octopath games, and you're silent, so it's like you're really actually just like watching a story unfold. You're not really, you're taking part, but you're almost
you're a silent
not.
observer.
Yeah. So again, and from that point of view, if I just grinded this game, I will go crazy.
Right.
So I think like I'm gonna be playing Village soon, probably within like a few days.
Great.
I'm gonna finish Tactics, which I'm almost done. Final Fantasy Tactics. I'm gonna beat it, platinum it, move the fuck on from that, and then I'm gonna start Village. And I think I might just put Octopath down for like extended periods of time.
There you
and
go.
just kind of space out, and not try to play like 17 games at the same time. But yeah,
I think that helps sometimes.
That's all I have been playing, Trio.
I love it. I do have 2 comics, if I could finish off. Yeah. So I finished Absolute Batman, Volume 1. It's called The Zoo. Very great. I gotta say, Scott Snyder, who I think is the big brains behind this, as well as a different artist, I can't remember the artist's name off the top of my head, are really killing it. I feel like they're genuinely revitalizing like DC Comics in some ways. Like I don't feel like I've seen as much comic book talk as I've seen in the past, like, I don't know, year, because of Absolute Batman and this Absolute series in general, I think, which is really great. But Batman's fantastic. The whole first arc centers around like fighting Black Mask and like his animals that are taking over the city, and it's interesting. I really like what they're doing with the character. They're taking Bruce in a bit of a different direction, but there are still very much those Batman elements that you know and love. He looks insane, but I do love the look, and I think you should definitely read these books. I know Absolute Joker was just kind of released in full. I think number 15 came out, and that was like his like origin, and I can't wait to get to that. I think Volume 2 gets released in its entirety in like February, so I'm gonna pick it up then. I'm not gonna get the individual ones just because it just becomes like I would love to do that.
You have a lot of shit laying around.
Yeah, it becomes a lot. But then other than that, I started Absolute Martian Manhunter, which I think is probably the largest departure so far as like what the character is. So obviously in the main campaign, in the main continuity, he's a Martian. He's from Mars. He's from fucking Mars. Thank you. He's from Martian. He's from Mars. He's an alien. He comes to Earth. He's a shapeshifter. He's got all these kind of psychedelic powers. But in this, he is like an entity, like a
Spirit?
like not even a spirit, like he is an alien, but he's like an alien consciousness that saves John Jones from like an accident, and like basically he does that by entering his mind. And the whole first issue is kind of him subtly realizing what's happened to him, and he's like dealing with the Martian in his mind, but he doesn't really even understand what is happening. It's so complex to the human mind.
So it's kind of like a Blue Beetle sort of thing.
Kind of, but like
Jaime Ray is Blue Beetle, like
right,
alien
but it's more,
tech.
but it's not like
it's like integrating with him.
It's an entity, like it's a thing, like it's a living being.
Right. Well, so are the Reach.
Yeah,
Beetles.
true. That's true. Yeah.
But it's in a technological sort of way.
Exactly, and like the idea is he's kind of realizing what's going on in his mind, and they're using this color palette, which I find super interesting, in the art style, and like he'll be walking down the street and like this like yellow and pink and blue fog will start rising up, and he's like, what's going on? He's like, colors, I'm seeing all. It's very heady. It's interesting and like psychological, and I really
sounds like
appreciate
some sort of like cerebral 1970s like
I think cerebral,
experimental abstract kind of art thing.
It's definitely more abstract than the original one, and I like what it's doing so far, and I'm curious to see where it takes it. You know, John is like a beat detective who is really invested in his job, and like he's having trouble at home with his wife, and it's LA Noir. I'm not even kidding you. Like in a lot of ways, like he's having trouble at his home with his wife, and like he's not seeing his son enough. Literally, dude, he's smoking the entire time, and that's a big thing. He'll start smoking, and like in the panel, it'll start turning the colors, and he's like, what's happening? And he's like viewing the world in a way that he couldn't before. It's very cool. I'm only about like I'm like a quarter of the way into it, maybe. I can't wait to read more, and I can't wait to read more Absolute. It's been really cool stuff.
I finished Deathstroke Incorporated. The second volume of that still hasn't come out.
Oh, really?
I don't know if that series is taking a while, but it started in like 2023.
It's still good. I thought it finished though, right? Didn't it?
No.
Oh, I thought it said it was running, because when we talked about it last time, I thought it was like running 22 to 24. Or something
unless I'm like incorrect.
Yeah.
There is another volume, but I could be wrong.
Well, no, that makes. I think like the series is probably done, but they might not have put out like the full volume next yet. So, and that's what they're waiting on even for the Absolute Batman. So that makes sense.
I'm out of comics, so I got to go back to the store and pick something up.
I've been on the Absolute train for right now, as you've seen.
Yeah.
And it's they're cheap off Amazon. I want to go.
I need
to
finish Injustice too. Still,
I would love to get into that. That's on my list.
Still
for
reading
sure.
that.
Yeah,
I've been reading that for like a long time.
Sometimes it just it's just sitting down and doing it. It's tough. Like to just not even tough, but like to just set aside that time and make yourself sit down and read for a bit. Because once you do, you enjoy
I've been doing that, but like there's so many books to read.
Exactly.
It's like I just opened another can of worms that I had with like video games, and like there's so much
just everywhere.
But let's talk about the reason we're here, folks.
Let's do it.
The Game Awards 2025. And I want to start out with our thoughts on the show.
Sure.
And I'm going to toss it over to Trio first.
Yeah, let's do it.
What'd you think?
I think I can describe this in one sentence, which I said on the Discord. I think this is the best E3 we've gotten in a while. But it's a very kind of crappy award show. The pacing was, I think, pretty good as far as like reveals and stuff like that. And like it kept the show going, especially for the first 2 hours. But it felt like we were just rapid firing awards that I was like, yeah, I don't think we should probably just be firing off that award.
I mean, we
or
were
like this all like, yeah, it's
God.
no, it's just it felt weird in that respect. I think we got a lot of very cool game announcements that I am very much looking forward to, and that's awesome. That feels very cool. But it does feel a little weird on the award side, where you kind of, I feel like, are shortchanging a lot of things. Obviously, Claire Obscure swept everything as we kind of saw coming, and I don't think that's. I think it deserves it in some ways, on some awards especially. But I do think like there were better choices for other awards, especially obviously, as I said, for RPG, which we'll get into more in depth, I guess, when we get to that. But yeah, I'm middling to positive in some ways, but also I don't know. I'm all over the place.
Sort of how you, not all over the place every year, but
Yeah.
you are sort of middling about
Yeah.
the Game Awards every year.
And I do think it's very long as usual. Like that's really my
it's
killer.
the same length.
Yeah.
It's definitely not longer.
It was longer this year. It was 3 hours last year.
I think it felt longer because of the pacing.
It finished at 11, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it finished at like 10:30 last year. I remember. I was home by 11 for a fact.
Okay.
So he did go longer this year. And it was funny because, I don't know, I felt like you could feel people on the award stage being like, I'm trying to get my award speech out as quickly as I can or else someone's going to take me off the fucking stage. I don't know what's happening. So, I don't know. I am very in between on how I feel about the presentation, but I loved all the awards. Or, I'm sorry, all of the announcements.
Yeah, the
what about you?
announcements were good.
Yeah. Let's hear it.
Trio, this was a tough year for me. In a lot of different ways, but more we're talking about the Game Awards.
Yeah. Let's get to that. Yeah. That's another podcast.
Yeah, it is another podcast. That's a whole other thing. This was the worst Game Awards I think we've ever gotten.
Interesting.
And I by the end of it, I was sad. I was disillusioned. I was kind of upset. I don't know what happened to the show this year. Something was off. And I noticed it immediately when we're like, it's like probably within the 8-9 hour, and we're like 45 minutes straight of announcements. There hasn't been an award. I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And then they like, they come up with like the Street Fighter, and it's like ongoing game is getting the stage award, but like best RPG gets the fast track. Okay.
What? Yeah.
I feel like this year's Game Awards was all about the announcements and none of the awards. And yeah, Claire Expedition 33 won 9 of 12 awards, broke a record for the nominations, broke a record for the wins. And because of that, I think the show suffered. This has never happened before where a game won this much.
Yeah.
It won everything. And I think it made the show that much more boring. The Game Awards this year were not a celebration of the year of games. It was a celebration of Expedition 33, and a very hollow celebration at that. Even when they came up for awards, I didn't feel like the moment was palpable. Like,
Right.
It's like, wow, good for them.
Yeah.
I never... And it's not that I didn't like Expedition 33. I wasn't voting for it for sure. I don't think it deserved every award it was nominated for. But it seemed like no one else stood a chance. I think if you removed Expedition 33 from this year, you have a much different award show where like there's a lot more variation in what's winning. I have a theory that Jeff probably knows who wins. Like I could imagine him not knowing, but I feel like he probably does as the Meister of the show.
Oh, what? Oh, I'm sure he knows all the winners.
Right.
Yeah.
He has to, I don't know how much last minute planning is involved, but when I'm thinking about planning for a show, how awkward would it be for you to get, do a few awards in a row and it's best action adventure, it's best RPG, and it's game direction. And Expedition 33 and Sandfall win every award, so they come up
3 times in a row. Yeah.
Right. I feel like maybe because of that, Jeff was like, we can't do that. It's going to look suspicious. It's going to look weird. It's going to feel weird.
Yeah.
It's going to be great for Sandfall, but like it's not going to feel good for the audience and the people who lose Claire Expedition, you know, like they keep coming up and they keep winning. So I think that's why they did what they did.
Makes sense.
They minimized their stage presence so they wouldn't have to come up 9 times.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, most devs are coming up maybe once, twice, 3 times.
Yeah.
You know, it's so strange. And I feel like a lot of people kind of have the same sentiment. Something was off this year. I think it has everything to do with Claire Expedition 33 being fanboyed into, like, Kingdom Come and winning everything.
Sorry.
I think it has everything to do with this weird fanaticism that was going on with this game that pushed it to win all these awards. And the council voting for the awards, I think Jeff needs to clean house. Yeah, it makes sense that Claire Expedition 33 won, Claire Obscure Expedition 33 won everything. If all those game journalists, one of the few games they completed to the fullest was that one game.
Right.
And they didn't finish Death Stranding, and they didn't finish Kingdom Come Deliverance, and they didn't finish Outer Worlds 2 or
Well, Gooch,
Avowed.
that's because Expedition I'm going to be devil's advocate here. Expedition 33 is just such a great game that it deserves it all. It deserves it all. But no, I agree. I think that's absolutely part of it. I don't agree with that devil's advocate that I just put forward, especially with certain categories. But I agree with you, man. I think you're making a ton of great points, genuinely.
Yeah, like, and you know, I'm gonna call Fred out because I didn't like his comment, and I'm gonna call it out. He called me a parasocial brainworm with Kojima, and the fact that Kojima didn't win, that I was upset. I'm like, no, it like, are you like crazy? Like, did we watch the same show? It is nothing. I mean, yeah. Kojima wasn't in the, like, they didn't cut away to Kojima at all. Yeah. There was no, like, Kojima moments. And I think that's kind of like a charm of the Game Awards, for sure. But, like, you know, like, if I was not, if you think I had all my cards that Death Stranding 2 was going to win Game of the Year, you're wrong. In my mind's eye, I knew, like, this year was going to be a toss-up.
Yeah.
And it could be anyone's game, but Claire Expedition, why do I keep calling it that? Expedition 33 is going to sweep, and it did, and I think that this is the worst possible scenario. It's not a celebration of game; it was a celebration of one game. The performances were off. Why didn't Woodkid perform? Yeah, you know, they should have won Best Audio and Music. I think like what they do with Death Stranding 2 is incredible with the music and how diverse it is. But like, why? I understand Evanescence performing. Why not have Woodkid? I feel like it was like a really
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think the performances make total sense to me.
Yeah, but like I feel like you have this one moment where like an outside famous musician does a huge chunk of a score. I feel like that should be worth memorializing, just like the same way that they did the Heralds of Darkness dance for Alan Wake 2. Like for the like the same exact reason. I'm gonna be honest with
you, Gooch. I think Alan Wake is a bigger. I think more people cared about Alan Wake. I think Death Stranding did kind of, for the general audience, fell to the backside this year, and I don't think that's. I think that they chose the 2 performances that resonated musically with the most audience this year. Do I like that? I don't know, not necessarily, but I think these 2 performances, to me, make a lot of sense. Personally.
Yeah, no, I don't think that they don't make sense, but you know, and they had the Expedition composer at the beginning, but I was just like, yeah, I don't know. Great year for announcements, not a great year for awards. You know, and it was funny, like Ludwig Forcell or Forcell was like, you know, Jeff had his little rating thing, and he just tweeted like Jeff, you know, like come on, like, and I was kind of like, yeah, I'm like, and he even tweeted later, he's like, yeah, like it sucks we didn't win, I'm a bit upset, but like great for the winners, but yeah, it's like, can you imagine you're there and you're up for a few awards and you're against Expedition 33 and nobody wins anything else besides that one game? Like it's got to feel a little strange.
Well, the counterpoint to that though is, Oscars
it deserved it.
Well, it deserved it, but Oscars have swept. Like, have there been I actually don't know. Have there been Oscars where a movie has won every single category it's been announced for? But then
I'm
that
not
also
sure.
gets to the thing of like how many, awards can a movie be announced for in that, or can be nominated for in that. I don't know. I just think when you have like a best RPG category, and then you slide Claire into that, which is an RPG, I get that. But comparably to what KCD does with its interactivity, with its customization, with how the world reacts to you as a character, with its dialogue options, with the choices you make, affecting the ending. And I know there's probably some choices in Claire, but I was going to say, is it anywhere close to how many you have in...
No.
I lost myself being a blacksmith for 4 hours, Gooch. I role-played as a blacksmith. Like, I don't know.
Compared to side content in KCD to Expedition 33, it's 1 to 20.
I just think
There
when you
is
talk about...
no side stuff in Expedition 33. It's mostly main story.
Like, you're talking about the category of best RPG. You could not have more of an RPG than Kingdom Come Deliverance, and the fact that it delivers on all that, and it creates such an immersive experience on top of that, while adding new mechanics that I think should now be just standard in RPGs like this. I don't know. It's just not even close to me. Do I think Claire should have won best game of the year? The way it was talked about, the way it was in the zeitgeist, the way everyone speaks about it. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, sure.
I think that totally is deserving of it for me. But I think there are these other smaller categories that, I don't know, other games I think probably did deserve the limelight. Did Claire have the best art?
No.
Like,
not at all.
What the fuck? I don't know. Like, you look at something like Hades, and I just think it's like, really? We're comparing this to that? I don't know. It does feel like it's like, man, I just love this game, and I'm going to vote for it no matter what category it's in.
Yeah, I think Jeff, it's not Jeff's fault, and I don't want to throw him under the bus. I don't want to shit on him necessarily.
I think it's partly his, but...
I think there's a lot he can do for next year's to really improve the show. Now that I feel like he's had a overall down year from the Game Awards.
I was seeing some
from majority. I think you're seeing the positive stuff from the people who were sucking Expedition 33's cock.
Sure,
is really
that might be part of it. Yeah, I was seeing just more positivity on like the announcement side.
Oh yeah,
I think the idea, like, I don't know, people are
there
saying
were some
this,
big ones. There was also some stinkers.
Like, I don't think this isn't the worst Game Awards for me by far at all. Like, I guess it's the worst award show, like I've been saying. But it's the best announcements wise for me, 120%. Like, I was going over the announcements today before we came here, and I'm like, oh, I care about almost 9 out of 10 of these announcements that they put out.
Yeah, and let's just jump into them. I'm structuring the podcast a little bit differently because I feel like we're gonna give less time to the awards because like there's not like since Expedition 33 won everything, it almost feels like there's like less to talk about
because we're just gonna
that.
And even
you know, it's like it's kind of like.
And I feel like we're almost saying everything that we could say about those specific
right,
awards,
and talking about the same game. It's not like we're talking about different games winning and losing. It's going to be different. So I wanted to reflect that. I wanted to talk about the announcements first and probably give that a little bit more time than we normally would. I'm not going to go through them all game by game, but I did want to start out with what we were interested in.
Yeah.
So we have notes. I don't
right,
have
yeah, I wrote down
I have the list in front of me,
right.
But what were you excited about from the announcements?
So I will say... There was one that actually, if it's okay, I'm going to start that was a little weird to me, actually.
Yeah, please.
007 First Light.
For sure.
That Kravitz reveal. It was a weird, like, 2-second trailer, and then he walks out and he's like...
A minute trailer.
Yeah, and then he's like, I'm the villain of James Bond. Okay, and Mr. Bobblehead, what's happening here? And then he just walked out. It was very odd. I don't know.
This was the first... it fits what IOI has been doing.
Oh, 100%.
With their elusive targets, Eminem being... the most recent one,
yeah.
Mila Jovovich is going to be the next one. We got that at the Game
Sean
Awards
Bean
as well.
Was one. Like
yeah,
this, yeah,
it's been wild and crazy. So like the casting of Lenny Kravitz as the villain from that perspective makes a lot of sense. But
I don't know. He was very like
it leaves
robotic.
like a gross taste in my mouth. Yeah,
I don't know
and the
why.
performance we saw of it, I wasn't really impressed with.
He's acted in a few things. I remember he was in Hunger Games. He plays like her like makeup artist or something.
Oh right, yeah.
So I just don't. And you know, it's funny because you mentioned that.
I'm
like,
not
with
a
IOI,
fan of Lenny Kravitz.
I'm not going to act like I'm a big Lenny Kravitz fan. It is interesting to me because they seem to have access to a lot of celebrities, genuinely, like you were just saying.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting that they go with Lenny Kravitz to me and not like. I was going to say Sean Bean, but he was in a 007, wasn't he? He's in Die Another Day, right? He's 006.
No, he's in Goldeneye.
Right.
The quintessential, probably like one of the best known bonds.
Right. And I don't know. That's just an interesting choice to me. I'm still excited for it, obviously. But it was just an odd trailer. I don't know. But the first thing that they started out with that actually really did intrigue me, and it was, I think, one of the earlier shows.
Yeah,
shows
this was in the
did.
pre-show, if I know where you're going.
The Decrepit reveal. It's apparently a first-person Souls-like, which is interesting to me. It looks very dungeon crawlery. I like the aesthetic of it. I'm very curious to see what that is. What did you find it interesting at all?
Yeah, I found it interesting. I mean, I feel like we got a room full of people, so we're just kind of poking fun at it. I saw the skeleton with the wheel. I'm like, Dark Souls.
Yeah,
that's the first thing I said. Kind of gave me a Legend of Grimrock kind of vibe, which is a really old school like tile by tile dungeon crawler, and that's kind of what it looked like. It looked like a dungeon crawler mixed with Souls elements, first person. There was no date for this.
No.
I think it only had like a PC slot, but yeah, I thought this looked cool.
I did too. I'm curious to see, when it comes out. Who is it? Isn't it developed or it's produced by Kepler? I think, or published. They're producing a lot.
Kepler was all over this show.
Yeah,
and they also published Expedition 33.
Right? Didn't they? No, they didn't.
That
do
was
Chronos.
Very strange.
Yeah,
that Kepler was. They were just all over this fucking thing.
Yeah.
All over it. And I didn't know they were Frictional's publisher either.
I didn't know that. So that's where else I saw it. I think that is new. I think they self-published before, actually.
Yeah, I would agree. But why don't we talk about Frictional's next game, Ontos.
Dude. So what did you've never played Soma? I'm
no,
curious
I have.
You did play Soma. When did you?
In like 2016
I remember
or
we
15?
talked about it, and you were like, oh, it didn't stick with me that much.
Yeah, it didn't really pop out to me compared to what Amnesia did.
Sure.
But yeah, Stellan Skarsgård is in this, which is a pretty big get. It's a new science themed first person horror game for Frictional. They've done Amnesia. It's more of a spiritual successor to Soma. Yeah. Stellan Skarsgård slated for 2026. It has a BioShock vibe to it.
Almost, I would even say Prey, even too. Almost. Yeah.
The production value looks really jacked up. I think one thing I probably wouldn't say this on a review,
right?
But comparing it to like what they have done, I think their production value has always felt indie or AA.
Little jank.
And this is the first game of theirs that feels like a AAA game.
I agree, right from the outset. It's actually interesting to me too, because Amnesia came out in 23. And
the Bunker.
Yeah, the Bunker.
Yeah.
And that's a pretty short turnaround, but at the same time, the Bunker is a smaller experience. I'm sure they had a side team already starting on Ontos and starting to get it together. I can't wait for this, man. I'm very curious to see what Frictional comes up with. I think that they are one of the more interesting. Would they be considered an indie developer? Or not now at this point.
Not now.
Yeah, they're one of the more interesting, I guess, smaller teams. Maybe I don't know how big they are at this point. They used to be pretty small. That are around, and they create very cool and thrilling horror experiences that I usually can't get enough of. I think, Rebirth was probably the weakest of the recent for me, thinking back. I still
liked
enjoyed
Rebirth,
it.
but I think from a gameplay perspective, I would agree with you.
It was the most walking simmy, I feel like.
I liked the story. I thought it was interesting. I liked Tazzy Trianon.
Yeah.
The pro tag, but yeah.
But I can't wait to see what Ontos does. It gives me, like you said, heavy BioShock vibes, heavy Prey vibes, even a little bit of like that. I mean, it makes sense with Prey, like that kind of Dishonored style of like the way that
exaggerated features.
Yeah. I really cannot wait to see.
Yeah, we usually don't get a lot of NPCs in their game.
There's like one or two.
So to see like 3 or 4, maybe 5 unique people, very different kind of go for them.
Definitely.
So I'm interested to see their evolution here.
I can't wait, man. Definitely.
Can I pick a game?
Please.
Next?
Yeah.
Resident Evil Requiem. We got our third trailer for this. What was that?
I missed it. No, I missed it on here.
Yeah, there are some games like I don't have Lego Batman on my thing.
I don't either. Yeah,
but yeah, I'm like maybe we don't even need to talk about that. Trailer wasn't right. What is there else to say? Resident Evil Requiem. We got a new trailer. Leon, of course, he's back. 51 years of age.
Yes,
I looked it up.
Yeah,
he's 21 in Resident Evil 1, which makes sense because it's his first day on the job.
Right.
So it's been exactly 30 years since Leon has been to Raccoon City, and he's returning with Grace Ashcroft. So what we got revealed was Grace and Leon's campaigns are two separate things. Grace is more the puzzle horror. Leon is more the action.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very scared about this.
Yeah, you mentioned this. And why is that? I'm curious.
So this is what happened with the downfall of Resident Evil that happened with 6. 4 gets more action oriented. 5 gets more, in a similar vein, more action oriented. And then with 6, they decide to go about this weird, unsuccessful route of having 4 different characters who all have a different kind of campaign style.
Right.
One is more not puzzle heavy, but like less action. I couldn't even tell you like what exactly they're all supposed to be because they're all kind of like
they blend a little.
Yeah. It didn't work. And they tried to like make it a different aspect. And then we get to Resident Evil 7. We really slow down. We got a lot less weapons. It's survival horror. It's slow. It's not action paced. We're in like one place.
Right.
And then we get to Village, which I'm just about to play. And I'm really excited to play that. But I know it was received less so than 7. And it's because it gets more actiony.
Was it really? I feel like at the time it was doing.
I think Village was
well.
received a little bit lesser than fucking 7. Yeah, for sure. And now that we're heading to 8, no, sorry, 9.
Yeah,
with Requiem, I feel like they're like doing the same exact thing that they found themselves in the first time.
right.
Yeah, and that has me a bit worried. I mean, the Leon segments do look like RE4.
I was going to say they just
which was kind of like probably the prototype for what they were thinking. I'm excited. I'm going to get it. But I'm skeptical. I don't know if this is going to work.
So that's all interesting points that I never even thought about. And taking that into account, that makes me a little bit more apprehensive for sure. But I will say after playing 8, I feel like they balanced the horror and the action in that so well that I have faith in current day Capcom to do this much better than 6. I think limiting it to 2 characters also makes a huge difference as well. There is one part in Resident Evil 8 where it turns into a survival horror game. You don't have your gun, you're in a house, and you're like running away from a monster. And it was fucking terrifying. The scariest part of the game, and I remember it vividly now. So I think that they can do survival horror well, and I like to know that they are still, leaning into that in this next game. But I did really enjoy the more action elements of 8, and I enjoyed 4 a lot for how heavily action-oriented that is. And I can see maybe a realm where both of them work in this way, and I just hope they know where to rein it in. I hope they saw where they failed with 6, and they try to adjust with that. But I think current day Capcom could do it. I do. I think that they can pull the rabbit out of the hat, if you will, for sure. But very valid points.
One announcement that I wanted to bring up that I didn't write down, I don't think it's in my write-up, the Street Fighter trailer.
Oh yeah,
and they're really leaning into it. They're
like this is Street Fighter.
This is the vibe.
Yeah.
And we're going for it full bore. And I think the way the cast came out on stage was really fun.
Yeah.
It felt like it was like a hockey game or something.
It did. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, what?
I
love this.
Centineo and Momoa were
Jason
definitely...
Momoa as Blanca, and like the voice.
Well, it's like the fighter voice, right? That's what it is. Like, I guess that's like fight. Like, I mean, we're not big Street Fighter guys here.
Yeah. We have reviewed the Street Fighter movie, so.
But I saw people online being like, I don't know whether I like or hate this. And I'm like, I don't know.
I
feel like
thought
this
it
is
was
what you
weird
have to do.
when fucking Andrew Schultz was like, oh yeah, the cast of the Mortal Kombat. That would have been cool if the Mortal Kombat cast did come out with them. But then he's like, no, we're kidding. I'm like, what is going on?
Did you
right
see
now?
the one? Apparently, the Mortal Kombat producer came out and was like, I don't really appreciate, like, it's all, like, it was a joke. Shut up. Like, I don't know. And it's,
what?
Apparently, the Mortal Kombat producer came out after him and put out like a statement of like, we work hard to do what we do, and I don't appreciate these blah, like something about the joke. And then like I saw Ryan McCaffrey like retweet. He's like, shut up. Like, they were making a joke. Like, no one's taking it seriously. Everyone laughed. And apparently McCaffrey was like, I didn't know how people would take that joke, but apparently everyone in the crowd laughed. At least that's what McCaffrey said. But dude, I think the movie looks fun.
Yeah,
absolutely. Everyone looks like the character.
Yeah,
so I'll take that at the very least.
Yeah, especially fucking Cody Rhodes as Guile. Like, think about Van Damme as him, and like now they're
just doing
he's fucking Guile, hair and all.
And I love seeing Des Malchin as
and Bison.
As Bison. Yeah, I think he'll do great. I can't wait to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's next for you?
Next up, let's see, Pragmata. I know we've seen a lot of this.
Yeah,
it's a Capcom game, right? Mm-hmm. Excuse me. It looks fantastic. The character models look awesome. It looks very weird and interesting. You have like is she a robot?
Mm-hmm.
You have like this robot little girl on this spaceman's back. There's like shooting, third person shooting, and then she uses these weird technical powers.
Did you play the demo?
I did not. I didn't know it was out. There's a demo out right now?
There is.
Oh, shit. I'm definitely going to try that.
I don't know if I need to.
Actually, that's fair. I
don't think I need to.
Right. I'm in.
Yeah, I'm in. I'm gonna play it
for sure.
It's coming out. There's a lot of games coming out like on my birthday. Around my birthday was a lot like April 20th. This is 24th. There's a game that's coming out on the 30th. I think. Excuse me. Whew.
Are we moving on to one? Can I just blow my nose really quick?
Yeah. I mean, I'll talk about Pragmata really quick. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. Capcom does have this bag that Trio was talking about that they're in. They're really in this sort of groove. And I mean, yeah, since 7 and some of the older Monster Hunter games, it has kind of come down a little bit, but they're still there, right? They're still making a lot of high quality games that I feel like, you know, they're following suit. Pragmata is a new IP. I think it's really exciting that Capcom is doing something new, and they're not just kind of pumping out their old titles. They're deciding to do something new, and Pragmata looks really interesting and has since it's been revealed. So I'm excited.
It was announced relatively long ago, right?
Yeah, I think like 2019.
Yeah, so take that for what you will, but it looks cool. I'm excited.
Next up, let's go to Bradley the Badger.
Oh yeah, this was the Evan Peterson one, right? Yeah.
So he's playing this badger named Bradley, and it's a third person platform game, and you're sort of in the I don't know if you're the protagonist of a game somebody is making and it's unfinished, and there's like different like parodies and spoofs of games that
we see Last of Us, we see Bloodborne. I think there was another one that I missed, but yeah, I agree. It's
very interesting.
It's interesting. I don't know if I fully grasped what it is from the trailer, because I was like, oh, is this a show by the end? And then I was like, oh no, it's not. It's a game. And then they rated it T, and I'm like, oh no, it is a game. Wait, what's happening?
Yeah. So it's a 3D platformer.
Okay,
but I think they're going to. And it's like unfinished. Like I went back and watched the trailer, and he's like manipulating like unfinished textures in the game, and that's how cool. He's like moving around and stuff like that. But it's also taken from the Astrobot of it.
I was about to say that.
Yeah, with like he gets big and he gets small, and there's
different like games that are different abilities. Right. Yeah. Right. That's cool. Yeah, that's very cool. I'm interested too. Definitely. I don't have much other to say on it.
Yeah. What do you got next?
Let's go to Exodus. This has been one that we've been seeing for a while now. I thought the trailer was somewhat interesting. This is the like Matthew McConaughey backed Mass Effect-ish style sci-fi RPG. You play as like a traveler, I think it's called, and you're going out on these expeditions to collect alien tech, but then every time you return to your colony, time has passed because of time dilation, and you see how your society kind of grows throughout these hundreds of years. I think the concept is really cool. It's very like high sci-fi. I'm interested in, the look of the game. I don't know about you personally, but it looks like it'd be cool. It's just like it's been around for so long, right? It's also like
what
I feel like they announced this relatively far ago, but maybe
like
not
last year.
Oh, was it really only last year?
Yeah.
Okay,
it seems like I said this when we were watching it. I'm like, this looks like a movie.
It does look very cinematic.
I'm like, they are showing gameplay though.
Yeah,
and it's but I'm just like. Yeah, something about the cutscenes, it doesn't even feel like a game.
And then they're like early 2027, and again, I'm like, I don't know if people have investors that they need to please and all that stuff, but like, if you truly believe it's early 2027, don't show a trailer this year. You showed one last year. Come back at the Game Awards next year and be like, hey, April 2027, we're out. I just don't get the need to keep showing games like this. But I don't know. Did anything else on Exodus for you, Gooch?
Not really.
Yeah.
No. Mm-hmm. What'd you think about Saros? We got our first really narrative look at the game. We've got, I think, one or two trailers before this, but this was more story oriented. There is gameplay, but it's like, yeah.
It definitely seems more narrative heavy. Like, not that.
Yeah.
What was our last game? Returnal wasn't narrative heavy at all.
I would say it's really not.
Compared to like what this seems it's going to be. Definitely not.
Yeah.
Who is playing the main character?
Rahul Kohli.
He looks great. I think the whole style of the game looks interesting. They did show off some different biomes and things like that, which I'm a bit more interested in. I don't know. I'm glad that they are following up to Returnal with like something similar, and they seemed like their first game before Returnal, or the game before Returnal, was very different, right? It wasn't like and that was like, is that a 2D game or is that 3D? So they made a big jump, and I feel like they built something very special with Returnal, and I think that they are trying to.
I think it's Resogun at least.
That would make sense. And they seem to be wanting to expand with it expand it with Soros, and I'm here for it, man. I mean, the game looks gorgeous. The combat looks fun.
So we got a date of April 30th, 2026. Got delayed a month.
Okay.
So it was up a bit more.
Okay.
Which is fine.
No, that's totally
only
good.
a month. Next up, should I pick? Should you pick?
I have one if you want me to go next.
Yeah, I mean, I have them too. I'm just
Control Resonant.
okay.
I gotta say, man, we've been waiting a while for Control 2,
Yeah,
and here it is. I mean, it's called Control Resonant. We play as Jesse's brother.
Dylan.
We are in a preternaturally destroyed Manhattan, and we're
Where
fighting,
the oldest house is.
right?
Yeah.
And we are looking for Jesse this time. And dude, the game looks fucking awesome.
It seems like the what is the thing that talks to her?
Oh, I can't remember her. Like, it's the gun, isn't it? I thought the gun is like what's
Whatever the
speaking to her.
fuck that the phone thing is.
Yeah.
It's like talking
board.
to her. It's like,
Yeah.
and it's like your sister's gone rogue, and it's like fishing. You know.
Dude,
yeah.
I love
So
all that
like,
stuff.
is Dylan hunting Jesse? And like, and then he's in the pod, and she like stabs her weapon into him. I'm curious if this is all taking part in a dream since he is sleeping.
True, yeah.
And he has like different hairstyles in the trailer a little bit. I'm curious what exactly they're getting at, and where is that damned writer Alan Wake? How's he gonna play into this? I wonder. I'm very close. Once I finish the Outer Worlds 2, I'm gonna play that at last Alan Wake DLC.
Oh, love it. That's
I'm
great.
gonna go
I
back
still
and do
haven't
it.
gone back to it yet. I will eventually for sure, though.
Yeah.
I would actually love to get a physical version of that with the DLC for PlayStation because I only bought it digitally on Xbox.
Well, it was
only digital. Exactly. Yeah,
if you
yeah.
recall. Yeah, I'm really excited for Control.
I can't wait.
I was surprised. We haven't heard about. I was expecting the Max Payne remake.
I kind of was too.
because we know about it.
Yeah, and they've been working on it for the past couple years now, but I think that's probably like a 27, 28
Maybe
game.
it's a game that they're going to show, and it's going to be a short time frame.
I would hope so.
Because it is a remake.
Yeah,
You know?
and it's 1 and 2, right? Is like
Yeah.
one package, so
Yeah.
that's interesting.
I wonder if they're going to keep Sam Lake as Max Payne in the first one. I can't imagine they're going to.
I don't know. I mean, I
mean,
really don't know.
he
Actually,
could. He's in fucking.
Well, then the voice actor died recently, though, right?
Yes, he
yeah.
did.
So that's unfortunate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wonder. Yeah, I wonder what they're going to do with that. Yeah, because they definitely would. Well, I guess they don't have to re-record the lines.
No, I mean if he finished them before, but like I just don't know.
we don't know.
It could be his last
don't know.
performance. Want to go next?
Yeah, Tomb Raider, 2 of them.
Oh right, duh.
So first we got our new look at our new Lara Croft, played by I think her name is Alex Reagan. She's in a lot of games. She's also in she's one of the voices of the Inquisitor in Dragon Age Inquisition. She's like one of the female ones. She's in a lot of stuff. I really like her voice. She's
great.
Her British kind of just the way she talks.
Yeah.
I really like it. But we're getting an all new Lara Croft, which is a sequel
I heard.
to the Survivor timeline and the legacy one, the one before this. I don't know about the old school one, but so it's like a new Lara, but like it's unifying the timelines. And I think that was their approach when they were releasing information, and they showed this like new version of Lara they were going for, and they were calling it the unified look because they're unifying all their timelines. So I read up on it and what exactly it is. So it's not really much to go off of. It's 2027 release. We're still a little bit of ways from it.
This is the new one.
This is the new one.
Right, yeah.
Again, Tomb Raider Catalyst. Lara is like sort of on a racing other treasure hunters.
I see.
And they're going after something. That's sort of the idea of it.
Okay.
And like that's pretty different. I mean, Lara has always had sort of like treasure hunting compatriots
Sure.
in games, in the movies, and I think it'd be cool to see a game that's sort of focused around competing with other people like her.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah,
I like that.
and they could bring in Trent from some of the older games. There's a girl that she's talking to.
What if they reference the movies?
Alex West, I was just gonna say, with
yeah.
Daniel Craig's
That'd be
character,
funny.
and like bring those different people in.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
I am too, man.
What I was skeptical about was, so they're doing a remake of the original to sort of tie into this new one as well. Tomb Raider: Legacy of Atlantis. We got a lot more gameplay for this. This is a 2026 release, and
Have you played the original of this one?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah,
I have
this is
not,
one.
and I've played a little bit of the original remake, which was an anniversary. So they are remaking a retelling, which is a remake of a retelling of the original Tomb Raider. So in the Survivor,
You just see smoke come out of my ears.
yeah, in the Legacy timeline, Anniversary is a adventure she goes on that is a remake of the original Tomb Raider. So they're referencing it by retelling it, by remaking it.
Interesting. I don't quite grasp what you're saying, but I'll take your word for it.
So they've remade it twice.
Right, yeah. And they're remaking the remake, basically, kind of, is what you're saying? Or
I mean, they've already done it.
Right.
And the original was like it wasn't a remake of one. It was like, we're remaking one, but it's integrated into the new timeline. Okay. So it's a little bit different, but it's also a remake, but it's a little bit different.
Okay.
So I think they're doing that again.
I see. Anyways, they look great. I mean, especially
I didn't love
Atlantis.
to hear that, but it does look good. I think you're going to be surprised with how Atlantis looks in this. It's a very interesting take.
Yeah, it looked like
artistic. You're not seeing
there's like
what's in that
dinosaurs and
trailer
things.
is not Atlantis.
Interesting. All right.
It's in the beginning of the game. Yes, there are dinosaurs in the first level.
They have feathers on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you kill a T-Rex in the first game.
Do they have feathers on them in the first game?
I don't think so.
New knowledge. Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm really looking forward to Tomb Raider.
Dude, I agree. I don't really have much to say beyond that. I think it looks great. I love the model. I went on Twitter and I knew they did something right because I saw some people saying, wow, they really manned up Lara Croft. And then I saw other people being like,
Sure, I
look,
guess.
they made her an incel's dream. She's wearing makeup or something. I'm like, we're in the middle. This is good. That's where we want to be. No, that's great. That's perfect. I think the model looks great. I think the voice actress sounds awesome. I like Tomb Raider, and I never finished the third one of the new trilogy, and I would actually like to get to that. That's like Mesoamerican, right? And like stuff like that Mayan thing. So that's always cool to me. I can't wait to see what they do.
It's canon, so.
Oh, sweet. All right, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, the whole Survivor timeline is.
So the whole, okay, but like, is that
the
like...
Dragon's Triangle is the events of the first game.
Okay.
Tomb Raider 2013.
Okay, all right.
That
I need
game.
you to just send me like a timeline laid out on like a piece of paper or something. I'm like, what is happening here? Do you want me to go next? Or?
Yeah, sure.
So I have two.
I
at
only
least
have
in
a
mind.
few more.
Yeah, I have two, and they're both Star Wars related. So
Yeah,
we'll
okay,
start with
they're two of mine,
the
so.
lesser of the two. Not lesser, but like the you know what I mean.
Lesser? I don't know if Sebulba coming back is a lesser thing, but okay.
We got the reveal of Star Wars Galactic Racer, and this surprised me, Gooch. It's a pod racing game. When I first heard the
but is it though? There's no pod racers in the trailer.
Those aren't pod racers?
They don't have their two engines.
I don't think all pod racers are like separated and look like that. I think they are. Maybe it is just a racing game.
You
That's
do
a good
hear
point.
Sebulba's pod racer at the end of the trailer.
I'd be curious if pod racing is different from, whatever racing. I mean, in Knights of the Old Republic, there's a racing mini game in that, but it's not.
Yeah,
pod racing.
so I was kind of the way sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're good.
Firstly, I was kind of like, is it going to be like different types of ships and there's like different kind of races with different kind of ships?
That's actually a good point. I didn't think about that. I just assumed for sure. I'm like, oh, we're pod racing. Let's do it, especially with the noises. But they said 2027, I think, right? For a release 26.
No, 6.
That means it's actually, within grasp, and I think that could be really cool. It reminds me of Starfighter. Like, I love that game, and I think that's a very awesome Star Wars experience to have, and I'm glad it exists, and I'm glad they're doing this.
Yeah,
I want more of these types of, like...
Yeah, these, like, not lightsaber Jedi Star Wars porn. I think the way
even
you
like
referenced it.
Even I would love like a Star Wars, like I would love Jedi Fighter too. Specifically, I'd like these more specific. I don't need every game to be a story-driven narrative. Whether you know what I mean?
Yeah. And a lot of people liked the pod racing game from back in the day. Yeah.
There's a mini game, and I think I mentioned this in the Outlaws review. It's one of the like arcade games that you play, like where you're in the ship and you got to jump between lanes as it's racing. That's literally the Knights of the Old Republic mini game from the original game.
Oh, really?
Which is funny.
Okay,
so
I don't think I knew that.
That's an interesting kind of notch there.
And let's get to like back to the beginning of the show. One of our first reveals.
Yeah. So, dude, we were watching this trailer, and it just starts with like a space shot and a starfighter of some kind.
And I was like Mass Effect,
and
which I wasn't
like,
too far off.
You weren't. And then I saw it turn. I'm like, that kind of looks Star Warsy.
Yeah.
And then
the engine is what gave it away.
The music starts to come in, and then we see the engine shut down, and we're like, oh shit. And it's a CG trailer of a woman walking into like a broken down Old Republic starfighter, and she ignites her lightsaber, and then boom, Fate of the Old Republic. Star Wars.
What a title.
Fate of the Old Republic.
So dramatic. I love it.
So it's a totally new timeline. It is supposed to be inspired, of course, by the original canon, but I appreciate that they are setting themselves apart. Fate of the Old Republic, FOTOR, works perfect. I love it. I'm here for it. It is a game that's probably 5 years away. And, you know, I said this when we first...
you were getting to work.
I knew...
The minute that was announced, like, what studio is this?
Well,
Casey Hudson is obviously making it.
Right, who made the original KOTOR.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's great. All the puzzle pieces are aligning here. But unfortunately, when it comes to Star Wars games, they have a tendency to get announced and not come out. So I'm holding my breath a little bit in that regard. And I'm upset a little bit.
We haven't seen a clip since it was released.
Right.
We hold a note of the debacle with the KOTOR remake.
And that's supposedly, like, that's another question here. What does this mean for the KOTOR remake, if it even is happening?
I would imagine
we got relatively real, like, leaks within the past 6 months of, like, no, this is in active development still. Oh, and also KOTOR 2 is in active development for a remake. So I just don't know. I'm excited. I want to believe for sure that's going to happen. I have a bit of faith comparative to like what we've seen before. I saw Maddie post something online because I was upset about this. Like, I'm like, why are you telling us about this? So you don't need to market this game. You don't. It's going to sell itself. Why are you announcing it like probably at least 3 to 4 years before it's like going to come out and when it's just getting into you know, developed? Yeah. And I get it. You know, you want to drum up hype. You also want to get people to want to apply to your studio, and you want to drive up talent, and you want to get people there. And that's what they did with IOI and 007. So I understand that, but I am still very much in a mixed headspace on like, I'm so excited and I can't wait to see that game, but I almost kind of don't believe it's a thing until I see gameplay in front of me in a weird way. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But did it tingle you at all, Gooch?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I like that. You know, like I've never played KOTOR. Mm-hmm. We were talking about maybe possibly doing a re3 for it. Mm-hmm. So it's definitely possible. I don't know if you meant that with the remake or not. I mean,
honestly, I'd love to do it with the original, like because we have we don't even know when the remake's going to come out at this point. I know. But then that would suck because then I would like to. Then we could just, I guess, review the remake as regular after that. But,
right. Yeah. No, I'm in. I think this is cool. I think it's cool that they're going back to that timeline. What do you mean it's like totally divorced from it? So sort of how like KOTOR is like not canon now.
Right. Like it's still in it's going to be in the Old Republic. It's going to take a lot of the accoutrements from that original game, as in like stylistically.
So when does it take place?
I don't remember the exact timeline of like how far before. Hold on. When is?
No. I mean like compared to KOTOR.
We don't know I don't know the relationship. This seems to be the end of the Old Republic. That's why they're calling it the fate of the Old Republic.
So I didn't even pick up that like maybe the Old Republic has fallen in this game. I kind of thought it would be like we're gonna find out what happened to the Old Republic.
I think the idea is that we are in the process of it falling.
Perspective.
Yeah. But it's taking the accoutrements like the ship, the starfighter. That's the Old Republic starfighter, the Sith starfighter that she shows up on and walks into. The look of everything, I'm sure the HK droids will come back. So my assumption is like, I'm curious if they'll touch Revan at all or anything, but this is going to be a complete and total reboot of that timeline while still using the accoutrements of that timeline that we know.
What did Maddie say?
He was talking about how like you need to announce things to get interest in this from developers to get them on your team. And like, this is what drums up people to apply for you. And I'm like, that makes a little bit of sense to me. And that's, I think, what they kind of did with IOI and, like I said, with 007. Like, there was nothing. They were like, 007, come join our team.
Here's the title.
It was a call. It was literally like a bat signal. It was like, come, we want developers. If you're interested in developing this game, come play with us. And I think that's what they were trying to do here. And while that annoys me, I kind of get it.
So who owns the studio?
I don't know. So it's Argonaut Games. I think it's Argonaut Games. No, that's a different one. Let me go back. Casey Hudson. I don't know who exactly owns it. They just started up this year. I would assume Lucasfilm is backing it in some way, or maybe it's Casey Hudson's own independent venture, and they are obviously like paying him and licensing out Star Wars to him. But beyond that, we really don't know much. I mean, he's definitely hasn't been working on it for that long. They probably just signed the contract within the year. So, we'll see what comes of it.
What'd you think about High Guard? Everyone's really down on this.
I saw people being like, Concord 2, and I was like, well, I didn't like... It didn't seem that bad. I don't think you should have ended the Game Awards.
It looked better in the beginning, and the more they went, I'm like, oh, this is a hero shooter, a a hero shooter that's in like the Titanfall, Apex sort of style with the sliding in the wall, running, which is great. I like that, but I'm like, we got to be done with hero shooters,
I just don't
man.
care.
We need to move the fuck on from that
I don't think
shit.
it looks like as bad as like a Concord to me straight out the
It
box.
does, I saw
hit
people comparing it to like Godfall and what was that other game that came out that like flopped really hard? It's like
forget.
the Magic Tech
Yeah.
sort of aesthetic, and I'm like, okay, I kind of get what you mean. I guess it kind of has a bad track record, but yeah, we'll see. Free to play coming out in like a month, like 4 weeks or 7 weeks, what Jeff said.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't think it was as bad of a reel as like a Concord for me, but I don't think you should have finished the show with it. I think that was probably the worst part.
That was the last
And it
thing.
did feel like the classic Jeff, like, I donated my child for this game. It's something I've been waiting for all my life.
Yeah, Jeff.
Here it is. Like, you know, and I was like,
no
Jeff,
Half-Life 3.
no Half-Life 3.
It's not happening.
No.
It's done, over. Dash.
It's not. Get over it.
I have 2 more.
Yeah.
And the one's going to be quick. The last one is probably an obvious one.
Yeah.
Warlock. This is a D&D game. Playing as a warlock.
Single
I like how
player, right?
Yeah. So it looks like from what the trailer seemed, it's like, you know, you're playing as a female protagonist. She's a warlock, and it's an action game.
Yeah.
I like how D&D is taking the Warhammer route, and it's like we want to make D&D games, but they can be your Baldur's Gates, they can be an action game, you know, they can be whatever.
Right.
But
No, I like it.
We want to make games, and there was a Warhammer game with Harbor in it, David Harbor,
Right.
which was cool. That I don't think
That's
we're
like an
gonna talk about.
expansion to the already existing one, too, right?
It's
that
like,
has
I don't really understand like Total War. It's
don't
a
either.
separate game, but it's just like in a Warhammer
I see. Okay.
aesthetic.
Yeah.
So last but definitely not least,
Right.
Divinity.
Divinity. Duh. I actually forgot about Divinity.
So here's something that I'll mention with this that before we start that I think was a big negative of the Game Awards. Everything leaked. Like a lot of this stuff we knew about. If we didn't know this was Divinity, this would have been such a cool release, but it kind of really took a lot of the wind out of the sails.
It's funny for me. It made the reveal more palpable to me because
I was just like, oh, great. Yeah,
I didn't
cool.
really. I was like, oh, it's the next Larian game, and not that they don't make fantastic games, and not that Baldur's Gate
it's like
wasn't
already,
fantastic, but
yeah.
like, I don't. That's not something I need this like crazy over the top reveal for. But you know, I think it does warrant it to some people, so I understand that. But yeah, that was revealed, and you know, I think that's a problem with modern technology, unfortunately, and modern, you know, information gathering. You just can't keep a lid on things in certain ways. When you have so many people involved, it's going to leak. Even Larian, the way theirs leaked was because they had to put through the copyright thing.
Yeah.
It's like you
that's how it
can't
leaked.
avoid that. Like
Yeah,
you,
that's
and you
how it
know,
leaked.
that's tough. You can only do so much in that regard. So I do feel for them on that end.
So
definitely.
what did you think of the trailer?
I mean, it was
and the
fucking
whole
tough to
mock?
watch.
Yeah.
I mean,
I watched it a few times.
I did too. I really liked it. I mean, it's a cool CG trailer, and I like the tone that they're going for. Incredibly dark, incredibly gruesome, incredibly graphic. There's people like having sex in front of the burning effigy and like
so if you
flogging
missed
themselves.
it, there was like an orc or something that throws up in the beginning, and like the pig eats it, but then like that comes back around where like there's more throwing up, and like there's like people like eating it, and it's like really gluttonous. And
I was gonna say, it seems like it's like a society of just like terrible revelry that is
Right,
now
like
getting
gluttony, yeah.
and that is now getting a comeuppance. Like
like they seem to be celebrating or
Like-
paying homage to some sort of god by
yeah,
like
it's like a Wicker Man scene,
by
literally,
like burning this guy alive, and then
Yeah.
he starts becoming like
getting
like a
taken
demon.
over by a
It
demon,
really
yeah.
reminds me of that first Baldur's Gate teaser where it's a Knight of the Flaming Fist turning into a mind flayer. Yeah, and it like, you know, he like starts, you know, fucking bones break in, his face starts coming apart, and he turns into the squid mind flayer guy. And this was kind of like the same thing, except the guy's being pulled and burned alive.
Like
And it's really grotesque.
he probably
And-
would have died a lot quicker in real life, but that's okay.
yeah, and then at the end of the trailer, we see that like the whole town gets killed, and they're like
like a
bodies are,
wasteland.
like like turned into this effigy, which was that
Called like a
monument.
hellstone, right? They call it, I think.
Yeah, but you know, so the timeline from the Baldur's Gate 3 teaser to release was about 3 years. So this game is probably a bit of a ways out. I'm really surprised Larian showed us what they're working on this soon.
I agree. I just don't feel like.
But like
Again,
I'm
you don't need
excited.
to- yes, I agree, and I don't want to take away from Larian because they're a fantastic developer. It's just not the announcement I was like looking for personally. But it was still cool. It was a great trailer.
Yeah. This is Divinity. It's not a Divinity Original Sin. It's in the same world as that. Rivellon is what it's called.
Right.
It's their own take on D&D world. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm surprised to hear that they returned to that IP. I thought they were going to strike out and do something a bit different,
Like more sci-fi or something like that.
No, like a big IP.
Oh,
And
I
not
see what
that
you're
Baldur's
saying.
Gate isn't a big IP, but like a Lord of the Rings.
I feel like this makes sense to me. Like I feel like
it
because of
does.
their last statement about saying they want to be able to be on their own. They were going to make, I think, Baldur's Gate DLC, but then they decided against it because they were like, we want to work on our own IP. And you got to pay people for that IP, so that takes a lot of money. And why not avoid that if you can?
And that's it for the announcements.
Yep.
It's definitely longer than we've ever done for the announcements.
Yep.
And I think the awards is going to be a lot shorter. We're going to go over them all. I'm going to read them off, and
We probably will. Yeah, honestly.
some of
let's
them
just-
we will not even talk about. Best esports, Team Vitality. Best esports, Chovy. Best esports game, Counter-Strike 2. Best content creator of the year, Morse Critical. Who you
Moist,
apparently
yeah, I do.
watch.
I watch Moist. Charlie, he's great. I like his very consumable 9-minute. He has some pretty good insight
got
on the
that
video
voice.
game side. I think more than you would expect.
Yeah,
Genuinely.
Yeah, I've never watched him.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know his name was Moist Critical until this patch
Until this
came
one,
out.
yeah, that's funny.
Player's Choice. Wuthering Waves won.
Don't know what that is.
It's a gotcha anime slop game.
Oh,
That was one thing I haven't mentioned. Anime slot games galore.
Yeah.
It's clear who has the money to buy the time slots
Right.
from Jeff.
Right.
Which sucks. Because, I guess they need funding and they're going to sell their spots, and that's just how business works.
I will admit,
But, it's clear that, the companies making these gotcha anime games have a lot of money and they're willing to throw it at Jeff.
I will say for me,
And-
they didn't stick out that much. But sorry.
And, Player's Choice is voted by the players.
Right.
So, fuck, it sucks that, this stupid fucking game won compared to Claire Obscure, Dispatch, Genshin Impact, Hollow Knight. I guess there's more people playing and liking these games than I realized.
yeah, I think so. I really think that is part of it. We're just not in that space.
Next up, we have most anticipated game, 007 First Light, GTA 6, Marvel's Wolverine, Resident Evil Requiem, and Witcher 4. Of course, it went to Grand Theft Auto 6. And we have to mention Dan Houser
Yeah,
at the Game Awards this
he did.
year.
He's been making some rounds. It's
has.
interesting. He's been talking, making interviews.
They must be close to revealing his game.
Well, he has 2 in development apparently right now. And then I know they've released novels and books and stuff like that already. There's an audio podcast you can listen to.
He was on Lex, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
I gotta listen
Definitely.
to that.
I didn't watch the whole thing, but I watched pieces where
Is
he's
it
talking about
7 hours?
Yeah, it's pretty long. And I appreciate
Yeah,
that he breaks it up section wise so you can know what you want to listen to.
I'm a full, me.
Yeah,
I'm listening to the whole thing.
It depends for me on the podcast, but
Best adaptation: a Minecraft movie, Devil May Cry, Last of Us Season 2, Splinter Cell Deathwatch, and Until Dawn went to Last of Us Season 2.
you were really surprised by that
Yes.
because
I was.
I wasn't because. And I don't mean children weren't voting for this. The kids,
Right,
that
it's not the
That was
audience.
the biggest one. But I do think Last of Us comparatively is a better.
It was
thing.
interesting to see Druckmann take that award and then be like, "Who made this? Netflix, Paramount."
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, and with Gabriel Luna,
Yeah.
which was cool. Yeah, again, I'm sure Neil would have been there regardless of this, but interesting to see him accept that award instead of Craig Mazin.
Yeah,
because I said Neil isn't even a part of the show anymore.
right, but he made the second season, so that makes sense to me.
Best multiplayer game: Arc Raiders, Battlefield 6, Elden Ring, Night Rain, Peak, and Split Fiction. It went to the most recent game in this, Arc Raiders. Yeah. Okay. I would say I would just chalk it up to recency bias. I'm not saying it's a bad game. I've heard a lot of good things about it, but it is the most recent multiplayer game compared to who I think the race was between Battlefield 6, Night Rain, and Arc Raiders.
It does feel like Ark is kind of more in the zeitgeist.
Oh,
than,
yeah.
even a Battlefield.
Battlefield
and I
was in
know,
the
and I know
zeitgeist.
that's part of it, the recency
It's
stuff.
just
And
been
I
out
think
for 2
Battlefield
months.
was, but it does feel like this has a bit more sticking power as far as clips and people talking about it. At least as far as I see. So it makes sense to me.
We have best sportsing. Best sports and racing game went to Mario Kart World. What's
Nice.
your thumb on the Switch too? You're locking it in at the beginning of the year, right? You
Or like
mentioned
next,
that?
not the beginning of the year, but sometime next
I
year.
assume
I
you're
would
going
like
to buy
to.
Mario Kart World?
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. I'm upset. Friend of the show, Ian Fitzgerald, has not invited people over to play the Switch 2.
What the fuck, Ian?
Best sim strategy game went to Final Fantasy Tactics: The Ivalice Chronicles, which I'm playing.
Nice.
Best family game, Donkey Kong Bonanza, of course. Doug Bowser probably accepting an award for Nintendo for the last time with that one. That was part of the pre-show. Best fighting game went to Fatal Fury: City of the Wolves. All right, Trio.
Do you think hold on, just really quick on Doug Bowser? Do you think he like went into interview with Nintendo and they're like, "Dude, you're in. Your name's Bowser. Are you crazy?"
No, I think what happened with Doug Bowser, if I was to really speculate, refreshed. Doug Bowser they wanted somebody permanently interim of Reggie Fils-Aimé.
I see.
And Doug Bowser was the next in line, but Doug Bowser was kind of on his way out. So he's like, I'll do this until I leave.
Right. What a perfect name for it, though. That's really the main thing.
Yeah.
Just like,
I kind of thought when it first happened, I was like, oh, what happened? Because he's only been president of America for 5 years,
right?
Maybe like 6, not that long.
That's not that long, but I guess it is kind of long. But I know what you mean.
Yeah. That's a position you get in, and you're
hanging out unless you're fired, right, or something like that. Yeah.
All right, let's talk about it. Best RPG. We had Avowed, Clair Obscur, Expedition 33, Kingdom Come Deliverance, The Outer Worlds 2, and Monster Hunter Rivals. I mean, we talked about this when we were predicting this. Kingdom Come 2. It's the choice, but Expedition 33.
Yeah,
sweet.
I won't repeat myself from earlier too much, but just again, I think that this is 1,000% more of an RPG than Claire, and that it is so successful in it is astounding to me, and I think it's very much deserving of that award. I'm sorry, I just don't think Claire deserved Best RPG.
Yeah, I mean, there's really, I wish this list from Video Games Chronicle, it just put all the Clair Obscur games together,
right?
Because we're gonna hit a point where it's just
Claire. No,
yeah. I mean, we're headed there.
Yeah.
But first, we have the best. The best action adventure game, which was nominated: Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yotei, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, Hollow Knight Silksong, and Split Fiction. Hollow Knight Silksong won, and so Jeff made a comment with that award. See, you won. Team Cherry was like, we're not going to show up. We don't think we're going to win. We think Expedition 33 is going to win, so we're not going to bother showing up.
Yeah.
And I kind of evaluated. I'm like, that's kind of lame. But they were right in the end. They got to win.
Absolutely.
They got a fucking award compared to a lot of games who didn't get anything. Death Stranding being one of those games. Ghost of Yotei also won nothing, as we predicted in our review, which you can watch now. So it made a lot of sense. But like that perspective, that sucks. You don't want a developer, no matter how small, being like, I'm not coming to the Game Awards because I don't think I'm going to win.
Yeah, and I do think, again, this year was kind of such a specific use case in the way of like, we all knew. We just all knew. The way everyone was talking about it, we knew. Yeah. And so I get them being like, we appreciate the honor. It's a lot. Where are they based?
I don't know.
Like if they're outside of the U.S. especially, I get them being like...
I feel like they're American, but I could be wrong.
Gotcha. I would especially understand. But yeah.
Next up, we have Best Action Game, Battlefield 6, Doom the Dark Ages, Hades 2, Ninja Gaiden 4, and Shinobi Art of Vengeance. Hades 2 won This is they're one of 2 wins. Best VR AR game went to The Midnight Walk. Best mobile game, Uma Masume. I think I pronounced that right. Best debut indie and best independent game went to Clair Obscur Expedition 33. So not a lot of people were talking about this, but Sandfall Interactive, Kepler published them. Are they indie? I would say no.
I don't know how that works.
Right.
Genuinely, like
nobody does.
I'd have to you'd have to walk me through what it means because I don't know because they are a small developer that did start very independently and then they found a high profile publisher. Does that then make them not indie? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's hard.
And again, it's weird because it's weird calling such a successful game an indie game, even though it is. You know what I mean? I don't know.
That's how I feel.
It's interesting.
Best community support was Baldur's Gate 3. Best ongoing game, which I don't understand why this was on stage. Again, you could have switched out a best RPG
Many different things.
No Man's Sky won that. Games for Impact, South of Midnight. That's Xbox's only win this year. Innovation and Accessibility went to Doom the Dark Ages. That's Doom's only win this year. I guess Xbox as well. Best Performance, Jennifer English ended up taking this home. I feel like it was true. Like, I'm glad Charlie Cox didn't win. Wasn't even there.
Right.
But, you know, I feel like it was probably between her, him, and Troy. And also... Kanutsu Kato wasn't there either. But yeah, Japanese actress coming out for that game.
She was a dark horse. I think could have easily taken that home, in my opinion. I think she was well deserving.
I've heard nothing but good things about the Japanese recording of Silent Hill F.
I'd be curious. I think she did the motion capture too, didn't she? The Japanese actor.
It's a shame, Troy, man. This was his year. Or even his Higgs, like I was saying. It sucks. Best Audio Design, nominees are Battlefield 6, Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yotei, Silent Hill F, and it went to Battlefield 6. All right, here's where...
How about you just name all of the next ones that Expedition won?
Best Art Direction, Best Narrative, Best Game Direction, Game of the Year. That's 9.
Good for them. I wish
it's hard to be like, that's exciting. Great for the team, but like not great for the rest of everybody else. It sucks the fun out of these shows. It's not fun. Even the Oscars, it must feel the same way. When like when like you're there to celebrate an art form. And I was talking to Jenny Plant about this behind the scenes. So she sings BB's theme. That's a tease for something maybe later. Who knows? Because we were talking about it, and I told her like Death Stranding 2 didn't win anything, and I was kind of thinking about it, and I'm like, well, like think about the Grammys. The Grammys are not a good cadence of like what people are actually listening to or what people are listening to, and I'm like, and I was thinking, I'm like, are video games gonna get to that point?
Maybe at
where
some
like
point,
the award show is like really not a reflection of like what people are actually playing. Because if you went to the Game Awards and you saw Expedition 33 win everything, you would think that everything else sucked this year.
Yeah.
It's not a good barometer on like how good the year actually was.
So I think you could also, but I think to counterpoint that, I think you could, that's the glass half empty look at that. The glass half full look at that would be like, wow, this game was so good that it cleared all these categories. But in that same breath, I just don't think it deserved to clear all those categories. Like I said with RPG, even with art direction, like I think that there were other games that deserved the shining spot in that category. And just because, it is a really fantastic game, all the elements aren't 10 out of 10 and deserving of that award. But I'm also going to say that as someone who hasn't played Expedition. And I don't know. I can only speak from what I've seen, what I've watched, and how I understand how the game works. So I don't want to take away from the developers. I don't. They deserve that award. But it does leave a raw taste in your mouth.
Right. It feels like discussing why they shouldn't have won is actually saying that it sucked.
Yeah.
And it's like, I've actually haven't said that once in any of my critiques or analysis or talking. I don't think either of us have said Claire Obscure Expedition sucks. Nobody has said that. So don't get it twisted, guys. But like best score in music, how do Woodkid and Ludwig Forssell not win this?
I will say it did, that's one for me personally where I'm like, I don't know. Like it didn't stick out that hard to me when I'm playing Death Stranding.
I think it does.
And no, that's fair. That's fair. I get that. But like the music stuff for me, I get it. Like everyone was talking about the score from Expedition.
Yeah.
Like everyone. And again, I think it just comes back to that thing that I do think Death Stranding is just a bit more niche in a lot of ways.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Best art direction, I think it could have any other nominee. Hollow Knight, Hades 2, Yotei, Death Stranding. I think Expedition 33 is the weakest. There's some ideation of strong art direction, but I think the environments and all that shit is just like painterly apocalypse. Let's just dump random shit. Like it doesn't look good when you've seen it for the 17th time when all the zones kind of look the same.
Right.
That's like the worst part about Expedition 33 is the zones.
Honestly, in that category, I might give it to Yotei. For me personally, now thinking back.
Yeah.
Because it is gorgeous. I can't, what were the other options again?
Death Stranding, Hades, Hollow Knight.
I might have put Hades because I thought that game just looked beautiful out the
now
gate.
that we said, I think you're right.
But no, I think, that would be between Yote and Hades for me, for sure.
Best narrative is a bit of a harder one. I think obviously this is all kind of subjective, but I don't think nobody's telling stories like Kojima is in such a way that like I think everyone can sort of relate. In a way, it's such a simple kind of message and theme that like everyone experiences grief and loneliness and connection. It's very easily applicable to anybody. But like Claire Expedition 33, it's a very sad story, and it's a very compelling one. But like it's not real. It could never be real.
But you think Death Stranding could be more real than that?
I think that the core of Death Stranding and what it's about is probably more real than it's ever been in like the history of life.
I get what you're saying as in its messaging, but like but I think you could say probably the same about Expedition as far as messaging goes and not actually what's happening.
Sure, but
again, I just think
it's very rare that a game would do this. Like if Death Stranding wasn't in this category, then it's all kind of the same.
Because like to me, best game of the year and narrative go hand in hand for me. So that makes sense that those two win. Like those two have the same winners to me.
Right.
And I do think Gooch. I just don't think Death Stranding is as approachable as I think you feel it is. Genuinely,
no, I've never thought Death Stranding is
fair.
Is as approachable as I think it is. I kind of wish it was. I think it is a big ass.
Like, and I think he's doing
it's
very
simple,
interesting things.
But it's also very much not.
But then he's also going into the Stranding and what that is, and your
from an
con,
you're
right. Like
it
it does feel like there's a lot of layers to get through when it comes to Kojima. And you know me, I've become a major Kojima convert over the last 5 years. I enjoy what he does. I don't think anyone does it like him in a lot of ways. But I do think that barrier is what keeps him from winning awards like this a little bit. But I mean, what did he win one for Death Stranding 1 at all? Did he win?
Yeah. I think it was game direction and art direction.
Like, so that, again, that makes total sense to me. And I think, again, a lot of Death Stranding 2 is a lot of the same game from the first game.
I don't even think...
Not narratively, but
Sekiro won
gameplay.
Game of the Year that year, but I don't really think... I think it won, like, one other award.
Interesting, yeah.
And, like, that's where it's, like, it's interesting, because it's, like, just the Game of the Year only won, like, a few awards. Like... It's interesting to talk about a year where there's so much variation in what's winning and what's nominated.
It makes the conversation a bit
fun.
Yeah,
this
for
is
sure.
just like Expedition 33 won everything. Like, what is there to say?
Right.
Like,
no, it's disappointing in that regard. My only thing is like, Death Stranding is a really fantastic game and it's one of my top games of the year. But it does make sense to me that just the way people talk about Expedition and how much everyone talks about it and how much it's stuck in the zeitgeist that it did take home the narrative / like game award for me. But no, it doesn't make sense for me in a lot of the other categories. And I think it is a bit like, well, we love this game, so like if it's in the category, it wins. And we think it's that good. And I guess hey, if it's that good to you, this is a very subjective field in a lot of ways. Good for you, I guess, but I don't know. I just don't know, Gooch.
Do you have anything to say on the game direction stuff?
Not really. I don't think so.
And in the Game of the Year, I feel like like Donkey Kong obviously wasn't going to win it.
No.
I really think it's hard. It's hard to evaluate this knowing what Expedition 33 has sort of done, like you're saying.
Yeah.
I guess doesn't even come close to Death Stranding, Kingdom Come, Hades 2, or Silksong.
It's just the way it was talked about. Like I knew from the beginning, the way the conversation was echoing, it was the shoo-in, for better or for worse. But anything else, Gooch?
No, I just hope next year is better. I hope Jeff really takes a lot from this year's awards and really goes back to the drawing boards on a lot of things and throws some things out and implements a lot of new things. Like we had a lot of those scattershot awards where Jeff's reading them off to the side and then we read it and then we move on. But it was like, we're doing that for action game, for RPG, for awards, that I feel like deserve
that time,
the stage,
and
deserve a dev to come up and say a few things. Instead, okay, we got to put ongoing game up there because it's something different.
Exactly. Literally, I think that is it. Yeah.
That's why he's there.
Yeah.
Like it was kind of like, wouldn't it make more sense if, I don't know, the Street Fighter cast introduced the best fighting game?
Right. I don't know. You would think so. You would think
Or
so.
the best action game or
Right.
best action adventure? Like, wouldn't that be more thematic?
You would think so. I don't know.
I don't know, Trio. It's I wish it wasn't so polarizing.
I agree.
I'm not as upset as I was yesterday about it. I'm sure I'll move on quite quick.
Right.
But it sucks. I love the Game Awards. I love what Jeff does. He's a great contribution to the industry. This was also an emotional year for him. He was very, public, and he's like, "Hey, my dad died this year. My dad's always been here, and now it's just, his mom." You have anything to say about Miss Piggy and Rolf, the dog?
He just definitely fucked that pig. That's all. But no, it was. I actually, some of those moments did genuinely make me laugh, and the parts.
I think they're
Miss
very
Piggy.
funny.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
I think it's good to like get those moments in. It's not like they were like making fun of games and they like name dropping a lot of stuff. I think his interest and likes being injected into the awards and being interpreted as something that everyone can enjoy is good.
I felt the pacing was a little bit better this year as far as announcements go, but as far as awards go, it was awful. And that's really the takeaway for me. It's like, you got to figure out how you're doing these awards.
There wasn't even opportunity for somebody to go up and talk for 10 minutes.
And when that woman went up to accept the score, the woman and the dude that performed for Claire, it kind of felt like they had a gun to their head where it's like, hurry the fuck up, get off.
They're not English speakers.
No, for sure. Yeah.
Native English speakers.
Yeah.
I'm sure they know English quite well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it must be kind of nerve wracking. And yeah, I never thought I think what the Guillaume, I think is his name, the main dev of Sandfall, and like his ode to Sakaguchi, who created Final Fantasy, he inspired him. And now I feel like there was this recognition that I am the new Sakaguchi, and like RPGs are going to I'm in a way like the next cornerstone of that. And he's not wrong. But recognizing that and being like, this is the guy who got me to do what I'm doing now.
Exactly.
Was cool. But I don't think we had any great speeches from anybody, anything that I remembered. Every time Sam Lake was up on stage with Alan Wake 2, I was like, powerful. And Sven Vinke called it last year when he presented Best Game Award to Asobi. He said the team that will win Game of the Year 2025 will be like that small, scrappy team who he called it.
Yeah.
Like on the money.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I hope we have a more diverse celebration next year.
I agree. But congrats to all the winners, I guess. No, I'm kidding. Congrats, genuinely.
Big Sag.
Big Sag, yeah. Thank you all so much for watching with us. If you've been with us live on twitch.tv/Delco Nerd Network, we really appreciate your time. You can find this podcast anywhere podcasts are found. Just search on your favorite service of choice. We got a Facebook page, a Discord channel, all that good stuff will be linked down below, along with our social media pages. We are at Delco Nerds on everything with an @ sign. You can find all this information on our website, delconerdnetwork.com. If you can comment, share, subscribe, it really goes a long way. We really do appreciate you guys watching with us here. Tell a friend. It helps us out. You can find all this information on our website. As I mentioned, you can email us your comments, questions, or concerns to delconerds@gmail.com. We're happy to get back to you. But for Gooch, I've been Trio. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay nerdy. We will see you next time.